good morning to all of you. And let me add my own welcome note for every participant here. For today's session, what we are talking all about is skills and qualities of a good mechanical design engineer. We know that design engineering is a part of manufacturing, and of course, every functions that we have in the manufacturing has equal important in terms of a product which can take it to the success or to the new height. There is nothing that this function like a design or a production or a quality or a testing or an assembly or a servicing or a marketing, you name any the important functions in the manufacturing domain. Every function has its own importance to make the product success. However, I have a special submission as a part of the design throughout my entire career. It really needs some more additional the skills and qualities which really makes a design engineer to be a highly successful. So my entire presentation will be addressing those areas and those skills and qualities with few examples, taking you through how it makes a big impact on a good success of a product. What happens in case if we miss certain qualities at the later stage, and how it impacts in terms of the cost, which is not acceptable by any organization. So these are some of the areas, and how do we acquire those skills, and how a discipline of a design engineer need to be, whether is it a clerical job or is it a innovative job every day, and how he need to be very attentive in his day-to-day activities and duties. This is my own disclaimer on the content what I've used. Many the photographs, pictures, and videos and animations are taken out from the public domain. Maybe still they all belong to the respective owners. This should not be used for any other commercial activities. With this, let me straight away get into a good mechanical design engineer is how we can define him, what his major at a macro level that we can look at. Any engineer predominantly who visualizes his product and realize the concept to most optimized a design form is the first and foremost his responsibility or a duty. Of course, a good design engineer who design the product for higher reliability, most efficient way of working, and very cost effective. Of course, customer looks at the best product at lowest possible cost, and that can happen only from the designer at the first stage itself. As a design engineer, we can make it more expensive for the same problem, for the same efficiency, for the same reliability. An effective design engineer can make it the same design, same product at very cost effective by applying his the knowledge and skills, what is very essential. Of course, he is an engineer who design his product from the point of other areas. We should facilitate our design for ease of manufacturing, ease of assembly, bringing the lesser complexity in the geometries, which in turn helps in reducing the lead time of manufacturing. Then, of course, you should facilitate for maintenance, ease of maintenance, because everywhere these activities are called non-productive. And as a designer, if you can visualize all these aspects in the design itself, then it can bring down the very good, you can bring down the unwanted or unproductive times during the process of using our product. The products which I am demonstrating here, various products which are from various domains. It may not be from a single domain. Every product, if you look at either from automotive or from industrial engineering or from digital manufacturing or consumer products. So every product that I have put across here, just to set the context, the product, how it looks like. But each product has its own objective, and that objective was conceptualized or thought before we go for the design. So that is a real input for every designer to idealize what we need to bring a product as a solution to the a problem is the one which plays a major or a vital role for a design engineer. So every product has its own technology, but the design concept, the general design concept, the principles, the standards that we follow across the domain is the same. Only it makes the difference if I'm making an automotive engineer, the technology I need to know. So the domain knowledge is very important. If I'm going with a food processing industry, then I need to understand the process, the technology, the kinematics, the material, the strength, all ergonomics, whatever we name, it's all the same. It holds good for every product. Manufacturing system, when we said, the first and foremost is the design engineering function. Next, we have a process engineering. The third one, we have a production engineering. The fourth one is a quality engineering, assembly engineering, marketing and sales, and service after sales. So these are major roles that we have. Apart from that, non-functional or non-technical functions which are there, which I'm not talking about, HR, I mean, other aspects. Whenever we need to develop a product right from concept, so these functions plays very important role. My focus would be more on what is all about a design engineering, where it starts and what skills and what kind of people need to be and how they need to be different from other functions and other department people. Coming to the next is, if I want to define a design, it's nothing but a creation of a new product for a specific function and requirement with methodological or a scientific approach. This is one kind, but not necessary that it should create a new product as well. We can always bring an improvement in the existing products or an equipment, for it could be for a betterment or a better features or a better performance or a better look or a better maintenance or anything over and above. We see that every product may not come to the market with a full swing that is an ultimate product. We keep on changing, we keep on adding. So that's also a process called a design. For example, this is the if I put it in a graphical form, it's not a manufacturing drawing. It's just a design. Maybe it could be a fixture. It has a multiple components. It has a purpose. It has a material. It has a geometry. It has a all features that is conceptualized, which works for specific function or a specific or an intended objective. It could be at a part level design or it could be an assembly level design. Now coming to the drawing, this is what I very keen, very interesting topic here. Every design engineer must know the language of drawing, unless otherwise we bring the right perspectives, the right standards, the right informations. Again, to whatever may be the extent that we have designed a product, it may not come to you in a physical form with the pre-intended intentions. So it's an official document used to convert our ideas or a concept or a design into a physical entity through manufacturing various processes. It's a means of also a communication from a designer to the production engineers for manufacturing and other activities. We don't get into the shop floor for clarifying our own the informations what we have. We don't explain the intended manufacturing informations in the drawing to the any other colleague in different functions. The drawing must be in a position to speak on its own. It should communicate all the informations which are essential to convert from a raw material to the finished product. So that's the level, that's where the drawing plays an important role. Drawing also contains all manufacturing informations with respect to the product in a graphical language. So this is how I can define a drawing in a simple, but going forward, I would bring a couple of examples in terms of defining what informations, maybe you are already being followed. I'm not saying that it's not being done, but I am just bringing how important or what can go wrong. If something goes wrong, then what it will have an impact at organizational level. That's where is a serious attempt is required to upskill ourselves on various aspects. Now, if I look at the typical manufacturing drawing, of course, this one kind, maybe it may vary company standards to company standard, but predominantly, it brings the clarity on the geometry, the clarity on the size, the clarity on the, the features, the clarity on the informations, the dimensions, the tolerances, the geometrical tolerances, and the surface finishes. And we have, the surface treatments and heat treatments and material. Every specification, every detail is required, so that my drawing, if I give it to my own shop floor or my own, the vendors, or within India or outside India, irrespective of any language that they speak, but this component, the interpretation made by a typical good engineer by other functions across the world should be the same. We do not appreciate one drawing is read by 10 people with a 10 different meanings. So that's the level of the skill and standards that we need to bring in our drawings. So that's where it plays an important role. And secondly, very importantly, any mistakes or any errors, any miscommunications or misinterpretation will lead and identify that only at the end of manufacturing. By the time we would have spent a material cost, an energy cost, a people time, and many, the manufacturing, the cost are involved, and we get to know only after this component is getting into the assembly. So the bringing a right drawing in the first stage itself makes or reduces the rejections, reduces the cost, unwanted cost as well. The cost of a designer, the error of a designer will lead to the maximum, the cost or a wastage or a rejection. So typical design process, if you look at any manufacturing industry, so first we'll identify the need or a name. Then second, we get into the synthesis, that is a selecting or a conceptualizing that will give a bigger picture of how the entire machine is going to the function in terms of the kinematics, addressing the loads, addressing, the energy from the resources, then transmitting through some of the kinematics. All put together, it's a synthesis will happen. And after that, we also analyze the forces which are coming for every component, as I rightly mentioned, because that's very, very important when we get into the part designs, part geometries, and part material selections. So finally, the next process is there could be multiple iterations will happen between the selection of material and design of other elements, which in turn addresses the thermal loads, addresses the static loads, addresses different torsional loads, so that the product goes in a single go with a sufficient, reliable factors are addressed, and efficiency is addressed, and how we made an energy efficient product is all something that we look into that. Then finally, if required, after the reviews, we change the modify that to the whatever the design, then prepare the design drawings and send it to the manufacturing for or a production for manufacturing. So I have not brought other aspects here. I just limit here itself till the design. Then after the manufacturing, we have a lot of other activities that need to be carried out, other challenges that need to be addressed during manufacturing at every stage of our design. Coming to the skills of a mechanical design engineer. Now we understood what is all about design, the output, the input, the importance. And if to address that, what essential skills that we need to look in from a mechanical design engineer, if really he want to be a successful design engineer. One is he need to be from the fundamentals point of view, because that is the real design engineer. He need to be very strong. And of course, when it comes to the manufacturing, then drawing, what we learned, what I spoke is very important. And today's to give our output in the form of design and drawing, the CAD is very essential. So we need to have a knowledge on the CAD. And geometrical dimensioning and tolerancing is the birthplace from the design. Materials, it's also again, unless I have a knowledge on engineering materials, its properties, both in mechanical property and physical property, we will not be able to give a right material for the right application. Then kinematics, whether I need to use what to transmit the motion, to transmit the loads from one part to the another part. Then again, I have mechanical standard elements that I buy from the market that need to be there. Very important knowledge during the selection of that. Then manufacturing processes, as a mechanical and design engineer, we must know. Otherwise, what we design, sometimes it may not be manufacturable as well. Then we don't stop ourselves to learn the skills on only the mechanical aspects, but as a electrical and electronics, now if not to the extent of what the domain people they know, but at least at macro level, We must know in terms of selection of motor controls and other aspects, the sensors and other things. So hydraulics and pneumatics is part of our any product. Some cases it may be, some products it may not be required. So it again is depending on your nature of product, these knowledges can be acquired. FE and analytical approach is essential irrespective of any product domain that a product or a design engineer need to have, so that he can fix a certain, or he can optimize the design before it goes for manufacturing. Structures, the design, the welding, the castings, and so many other areas that we need to be very strong in this, so that we give a complete information in terms of manufacturing, and we'll be able to optimize the design, optimize the manufacturing process as well. So job role of mechanical design engineer, it's only my perspective. It varies from company to company, but going forward, maybe in the junior level, it may not be to that extent, but going forward after acquiring certain amount of knowledge or experience, then he will have a multiple domain or a knowledge that is required, or a job roles. One will be a customer interface, discussing with the customer. Second one, he as a designer, he has to conceptualize the proposal. Then third, as a designer, you need to make a product design. And fourth, you need to have a process interface with the people to discuss on the manufacturability. Then going forward, we need to go with the vendor interface as well to clarify your certain, the validation or a requirement or the manufacturing process sometimes. And also we need to go within our own production interface to discuss with manufacturing engineers. And of course, we cannot limit ourselves only to the production, but also we must have some quality interface and also testing interface. So it will continue with some more, but we need to have an electrical assembly design interface, and we need to have a systematic testing interface, system testing interface, and sometimes you may have to rush to the customer end for commissioning interface as well. So for a first prototype, we may have to do a lot of interface with other functions, so that everybody will be thinking it's a new product, what to do, how to do. Sometimes we have to bring our presence and make the things to better clear and make the things to happen at the best possible way. So smart mechanical design engineer must know passion on manufacturing. This is my primary submission to all the people who are working in the design. As a design engineer, he must have high interest in manufacturing. Proficiency in mathematics and physics is utmost required. Analytical and problem solving skills is the by default there. It should be an attitude, or it should be it's a part of the method of thinking. Then communication need to be a very good, because you need to speak to, or you need to listen, and you need to write something to the other departments. And commitment, discipline, and hard work is highly plays an important. We can never sign off from our office after 5:30 like regular any other person, because a designer will be keep on thinking, keep on analyzing. It goes within his product itself. He's get completely involved in the product. So there is no working hour limit for anybody. So this is the passion on manufacturing. Then drawing is utmost knowledge that is required to give your appropriate output, so that we get the right component in the first time itself. So it would go for a designing of a part and assembly, part drawing, orthographic projections, dimensioning, tolerances, GD&T, surface finish. What I'm trying to say here is all we know. But when everywhere we need to make a decision, everywhere we need to make a decision on the geometry, we need to make a decision on controlling the dimension, we need to make a decision on GD&T, understand the purpose, and we have, because every surface cannot go with this high sophisticated information, so it will become expensive. So everywhere decision making is the one which really to be done, then entire knowledge is very essential. Then he must be quite creative and quantitative, because everywhere we talk about with values and the units. We can't say that this is too big, too small, too the speed, or too high speed or something. We always bring a values in everywhere, because every values only designer can speak. So that's another quality is required. Fundamentals, he must be very strong here. because unless otherwise we apply the science in manufacturing, we apply the science in design, all strength of material, mechanics, kinematics, materials can never become a good design. So CAD software, I don't stop here for some time. Anyway, we are all very good. Any one is more than sufficient to take it forward your design in a faster mode, in a foolproof mode. Production process perspective, we must have a knowledge on all these manufacturing processes as a macro level. At least we must know how, which machine, what accuracy, what process can be done. Unless otherwise I have this knowledge during the design of my component, I may not consider any of this. Sometimes either the cost will become very high, or sometimes it may not be possible to manufacture as well. Then the another aspect is, we don't stop at only quality people can take care of all this, the equipments and measurements. As a design engineer, we must, during the designing of any any physical or a feature, you must also look at what instrument that can be brought in here at macro level. I'm saying is, as a design engineer, you need to have a total knowledge. We may not be good in going and measuring the values, but at least we should know the instruments which are available to check your own geometries, whether it is feasible or not. Then assembly process, of course, this is very, very important for every designer. He has to work in assembly for some time, so that otherwise he will not be able to differentiate between a CAD model to the real model. Real model will have the mass, will have the surface finish, will have the sharp edges, will have the features. So many things, even if you drop it, something is going to happen. That kind of a hands-on training or hands-on experience must be available. Otherwise, he assembles, but here it may not be possible to assemble it. I can put the bearing first, then later I can put the spindle, or some component will get into the another component in the CAD. But in the real scenario, there are a lot of challenges. Those aspects has to be considered during the process of design, has to be analyzed during the process of the design. Then your assembly engineer will be very comfortable to handle that. So apart from this, we have other skills that are required very much. We need to have a appropriate knowledge on tolerancing, how, what, and what kind of fit is required, what makes me to decide that. This is very, very important from the point of manufacturing. Again, the decision making on how much tolerance to be given for what feature, for what purpose is very important. After you give, none of other people may not question you. They think that it is very essential from the point of functionality. But at the same time, whether it is doable, whether it is manufacturable, do I have the same machine, or I need to send it out, whether it is really impossible to make. These are all something before you take a call that has to be addressed. Second and foremost is the form tolerances or geometrical tolerances. Every component may not be required, every feature may not be required, but where and how. Then what makes the difference between a dimensional control and a geometrical control? Why is some of the theoretical aspect that we should understand. Unless otherwise you have this knowledge, if you give randomly for some feature, for some tolerance, again, your machine is not going to, or a product is not going to perform the way it is intended. So there are so many other kinematics that a designer, depending on his product, because we define a machine which has the rotary motions and linear motions as well. So combination of rotary and linear to carry out a specific function is the one which a machine is supposed to be done. So during this process, we have a multiple options to convert or transmit the motion from one shaft to the another. It could be a chain drive, or it could be a belt drive, or it could be a gear drive. Then what makes me the right choice? Which is the most ideal? Which is the most simpler? Which is the most cost effective? And which is the most, to address the loads, hours, and other things. So there is a huge, the decision that has to be taken considering the various factors. I need to look at the effective efficiency. I need to look at cost effective. Also, I should look at the quality point of view. So looking at this, taking a right decision for the same, the problem, the what solution is one. Unless you have the right information, the right knowledge, right advantage and disadvantage one over the other, our again selection may go wrong. So engineering materials, again, we know that many different types of materials are available. Even ferrous, different, low alloy, medium alloy, low carbon, high carbon. high alloy steels are available for what purpose, which material, to address what load, to have a better stiffness or a strength. Those decisions that has to be made. I may not be too much worried as a design engineer what heat treatment process, what is the soaking time, temperature, to what level of conversion it is happening. I may not be required, but I know raw material, I know the intended loads, I know the geometry, then I need to take the right material for selection. So for that, we need to have a right knowledge on engineering material. Electrical and electronics, sometimes we play a big role in terms of selecting the motors and drives, but other areas like fair amount of knowledge is very essential for us. Whether I need to go with a CNC controller or a PLC controller or an embedded, the electronics, what is the right approach for my product to work in an automated mode? Ergonomics and safety, as I said, this is a very, very important from the user point of view of your products. So it has to be designed an appropriate way, positioning, then a fatigue of during your product being used by any human being is minimized at most. Hydraulics and pneumatics plays an important role for everybody. For some products, we may use it as an energy resource to drive or overcome the friction, overcome the motion, overcome the loads. So appropriately, both does the same, but there is a slight difference between hydraulics and pneumatics from the point of technology. So where to use for what is the one. Unless I have the knowledge on this, we may not be able to take the right call to choose the hydraulics or in pneumatics. Essential skills for a good mechanical designer. I just put it in a simple way of summarizing what I have discussed so far. He must be good, having a good, the conceptual thinking capability, problem solving capability, manufacturing drawing skills, knowledge on tolerance and GD&T, different optimized kinematics, which makes most efficient and effective and cost effective the drive systems. Then fundamentals, he must have a very good knowledge on that, along with materials, machine elements, and also the motors, servo motors, stepper motors, induction motors, different types of the permanent fastening systems, or a casting or an electrical. What we had discussed, these are all very, very essential skills for a good mechanical designer if his product need to be success in a single go. Benefits from a good mechanical design engineer: if you are acquired so much skills what we indicated. Of course, this is not the end. There are many, but with the limitation of time, I could brief only so much. So the benefits at his level, at organization level, he will get his product first time right, and it will take a less lead time for manufacturing, and the product would be highly reliable and efficient, and the rejection is brought significantly less or a zero. And of course, we look at in the recent or today's product development, energy is one of the serious concern, and we need to select those energy products or like motors and lights and so many other, the equipments at very optimal required. We should not go for energy consuming, the selections of those elements and make the machine very, not very energy efficient. So this is also a primary aspect that we need to look in. Customer really appreciates on making every product energy efficient. I'm not saying only from the point of the motors, even the product, the entire product is manufactured with an energy efficient way. That is another added advantage as a quality of a design engineer. Then cost effectiveness is the one which brings in the selection of material, simplifying the geometry, making the manufacturing time as less as possible, and selecting the bought outs from outside most optimized way. There are different for example, if I take a ball screw, I got a different classes of ball screws. Each class may not be linearly, the cost variation is there. It is an exponential way depending on how we close the accurate ball screws. So what is required for your application? What is the intended accuracy of your product? What is the the ball screw or a guideway or the bearing or the motor or the, you name anything what we buy. The selection of those equipments or a bought outs is very, very important with respect to. I am making a 7th quality machine and I'm buying a 5th quality products. Again, we are not matching the cost. We are not matching the products together. So either your product will be expensive, then your customer will not be paying any 1 rupee or a dollar extra for non-value adding products or a material within the machine. Then value for money to your customer is another advantage, and better growth in the organization as an individual. Being an efficient or a good mechanical design engineer, considering all these benefits, your growth rate is also not linear. It could be an exponential.